Hi! So, as you can tell from the title, we're going to be having an interview with the hybrid coach, Karolina Pereira, and I'm super excited for this. Now, just having to wait a few minutes for her to jump on, for us to set up, and I'm hoping that's very, very soon. Now, for those of you who are curious of what these interviews are about, it is me, Nikki, intuitive coach and artist, interviewing women in business. Now, many of these women, as they are in my mastermind, are they in my circle, we will be interviewing coaches, but it'll also broaden out beyond the coaching world into just generally the amazing women in business. So I can see that Karolina has joined us. I'm going to, yes, allow her to join. Technology, I hope you're working for me today. Here we go. I see a black screen. I'm wanting to see your beautiful face. I am wondering what's happening here. Karolina, are you there? I cannot see you. Let me try and... We're live. Let's try it one more time, and then every other time if necessary. Yes, awesome. I was like, I'm not technology enough to fix this if it's a problem.
Dave, I just need like a green button. If I see a green button of some sort or an invite, then I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, can hear you all good. Can you hear me okay?
Beautiful.
Awesome. Well, first of all, welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited. Like we've been messaging like on and off all week, and I'm like, are you ready for Saturday? Are you keen?
I'm always keen with you. I love our conversations. Yeah, as we said, like our convos are always like high vibe and energy, and always excited to talk to you.
Yeah, and I think it's like awesome that we get to capture it on this space, like socially and social media wise, because then other people get to benefit from our high vibe energies and awesome conversations.
Yes, yes. Awesome. Love it.
Cool. So I was just sharing with everyone that the purpose of these interviews is to interview women in business. And what I hadn't gotten to yet, which I'll do now, is well, what we're talking about is creativity in business, magic in business, the role of our intuition, and also to be able to connect with each other, but also connect our audiences, because as you know, there are so many people in the world that need help or need support or need some service that we can provide. And to be honest, the only way they get to see that and hear it and know that is if we share it. So I love the benefit of that as well. We get insights, we get magic, we get cool conversation, and we might also be able to help someone out along the way as well. So thank you for being here with me today.
Thanks for having me, Nikki. Can't wait to chat.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Even though my note just flew off, and I'm like, maybe the middle of the interview, will just be winging it.
I did think before this, maybe I should have like written a few stuff down. I went, nah, we'll just have a conversation. It'll flow.
Yeah.
It'll come.
Exactly. That was the universe saying, you don't need script.
I just thought, man, knowing Nikki, maybe like we'll do a meditation of some sort, or she's going to like just bring us all together.
Yes, we're going into a guided visualization. Go.
I did have a dance before jumping on, actually. I tend to do that now because I strongly believe in just like bringing the high energy and being in that high state.
Yeah. Awesome. You're already skipping ahead to my questions around what do you do. But I did the same. I have a song I've been playing lately, and it's like, not only gets me in the zone and gets me high vibe, but it's a reminder that I control my state and I control my energy and I can do things and I have tools at my disposal when I'm feeling awesome and I want to feel even more awesome, but when I'm feeling actually quite low, I don't have to stay there. And there's no rule on how long I need to be there. So I totally love that. Yeah, let's just jump into that. So what are your magic tips on, well, yeah, if you want to share anything with us. So I heard
Okay,
high
well,
vibe.
okay. I don't know if it's magic, but maybe it is magic, but water. You'll always see me carrying the water around, and I strongly believe that water also adds in manifestation. What do they say about our bodies? Like our bodies are made of like 80% water. I think it's 80% water. So I'm always drinking water, which means that I'm always like running to the nearest bathroom wherever I go. Like people know me for that also. The water, like I'm constantly like listening to music, dancing around because I know the importance of like just staying in that higher state. I'll have notes like in my phone also and up in my office just saying whatever you do, whatever you need to do to stay in that higher level of consciousness, energy, magic, do it. So I'm constantly reminding myself. Um, what else do I do? I'll do meditation, generally in the afternoon around that, the 3 o'clock slump when you sort of tend to reach the past Carol would tend to reach for like chocolate or caffeine, but now I'll go into a meditative state. My children know not to disturb me. And mum's gone under. And yeah, just to like be in tune, back in tune with my body and listen to whatever's coming up for me. So actually, it's a morning and an afternoon routine for me.
Yeah,
I've,
beautiful.
I've got I've got like crystals around the place too that I tend to hold. I tend to like burn incense and do some smudging and yeah, those types of things. All help.
Yeah, I love that. And what I'm hearing is like the more tools, the better. Like you can never have too many crystals, too much incense, too much water. Like, don't hold yourself back. It's not like this is the one thing. It's like, no, do all the
Yes,
things.
agreed. Yes, they
Yeah.
all help, and it depends on what you feel like on the day. I think we should just be guided by what we feel like not have to be so stringent on. Okay, I'm going to rub my rose quartz, and then I'm going to get my lapis lazuli. Just
It's like a checklist.
take
You're like,
it in
first course,
turns.
done.
Yes,
Incense, three
yes,
quarters of the
yes.
way, done.
No, I'm so breaking those patterns. I found like the more I intuitively feel, and I think that's the key word, feel, into what I want to experience for that day. It tends to be only to my benefit rather than crossing things off.
Yeah, I'm curious now that you've shared all of these tools and even just lent in there saying you're learning to listen to and follow your intuition more now. What was it like before when none of this stuff was happening?
It was very much a masculine energy, I would say, and a push, push,
Mhm.
push. And I guess there's like, when I look back, there's lots of reasons for that. There's conditioning from, like, as a coach, you'll understand this, like from early childhood programming with our parents. No one really spoke about like creativity or feeling or emotions like when I was growing up. It was all about getting by and working and very much a masculine energy and that's what I took into the corporate world. Even like so I studied design, which was like I thought I was always a painter, always drawing, always creative, singing in the garden, picking things up, touching things. Like that's always been I've had that like my innate nature, like to be that person. So I went and studied design, but going into like design school, it was interesting because I was attracted to the structure of design, and it was like Swedish design, and I wore black for 3 years.
I can't picture it like you're
Because
such a
I
colorful
know, I
personality.
know, because this is the thing, like I'm still discovering who I was. I was like 18, 19, 20, wearing black and, this, it was a Swedish design school and everything was like ruled and, oh, it was like even thinking about it now, it's just like, no.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. Always did like painting in the background. I had like um, a face painting business also. So once
Oh, cool.
like my daughter was small, started, I just need a creative outlet. I don't even need to talk to other people. I just want to create talent. But yeah, it was interesting having that business. Like I realized that that was something, it was actually the first business where I realized that I was actually transforming people in my own way, or like, aiding them in becoming who they wanted to be. And who would have known years later, like I'm in that, like in the coaching space. But it's, yeah, life's interesting. Very, very
We think that
interesting.
we're going like this, but when you look back, it's just a clear path. You're like, yeah, that made sense. I can see where
Yes,
all
it
that was
makes
coming
sense
from.
now. Yeah.
So speaking on that point about it making sense now, and even that little awesome insight, thank you, about where you started, what was the sort of expectation versus reality of being a woman in business?
The expectation was, okay, well, a woman in business. I actually made it to, made it, even my language, no, I shouldn't say made it. So in business, it was a very masculine world. I mean, and I totally understand it because that was like the vibe that I was letting off. So the expectation was all about performance and results and meeting targets. And in lots of ways, like I do consider myself to be a competitive person. Like I do have that part in me, and I think it's only to my benefit. Like running a business that I have that. Like I do like to, I like to have a target there and move towards that target. But now with having that experience behind me of, being in boardrooms with like the only woman in a boardroom, I know I know what I bring to the table. We'll just say that. I know what I bring to business, and it is the feminine intuition. It is the feminine flow. And at the time when I was first in those boardrooms, I felt out of place, I guess, and I had a bit of that imposter syndrome because I didn't necessarily, like, I knew I could do the work and I could lead teams and bring that side of me, but there was something missing, and that part that was missing was me actually doing things the way that I wanted to do things, which I ended up doing, but it took me a while, like, to trust and just realize that it was okay to do things my way and not somebody else's way. So that's been a bit of a journey. Yeah.
Yeah, I resonate with that so much. Like my experience wasn't in corporate, it was teaching for 10 years. And even within that, there are clear defined roles and rules and expectations, and even just what your life is going to look like. You can step into your first year of teaching, look around the staff room and go, 10 years you're going to look like that, 20 years you're going to look like that, 30 years you're going to be there. And it was just so depressing to know there was no more creativity or curiosity left. Like, yeah, maybe little, details would change, but this path that was laid out and I was like encouraged to walk down, there was none of me in it. It was like I was just filling shoes. And I'm like, I don't even like these shoes. Like, I wouldn't pick these. So yeah, I totally resonate. And have you come across in your time as a coach a lot of other men and women in this same position of like being told to be one or the other, masculine or feminine, and it's not a focus on the balance?
Yes, absolutely, all the time. They're actually my clients. It's interesting how you attract us like into the business. And so what I support people on is actually letting them know that it's okay. Like it's okay to be you in that position. And if you've outgrown that position, if you're not like passionate or feeling it anymore, it's also okay to leave and explore something new. Like what else are you interested in? What lights you up? What lights you up? What gives you that energy? So I really think, that's actually important work in regards to like that coaching and just giving people that space to think about that away from the day-to-day and asking them the question, like, what do you really want? Like we're obviously working in this space together. Like we've been brought together as a coach and a client for a particular reason. What is it that you want? Let's see if we can make that happen.
Yeah.
I get so excited by helping them, support them with that. Sorry?
Yeah. I was just saying, like, how magical is that moment when
yes,
the person has broken free enough from that old track to get in front of you and you're like, I can help you. We can make a difference. What is next for you? And like instigating for many for the first time, the real conversation around things can be different.
Yes, yes. People also haven't had the opportunity to actually give themselves permission. Like they're waiting for permission, and there's a different feeling when you actually give yourself permission and you understand that like you're here for a reason. Like you being born isn't an accident, and tapping into that. I actually get messages on LinkedIn from people in corporate saying, I don't know what my purpose is. And that and at the start, I remember like looking at that going, wow, like I know what that feels like. You know, and then we just start having those conversations. But the whole thing about purpose is interesting. You can have multiple purposes. Like to me, it's all about, depending on like what your stage of life is. If you're living in alignment with your values, like day to day, then you're bound to, like, you're on the right track. That's all you really need to do. Like it's not that difficult. Like once you understand, like, well, what it means to be on purpose, like what it means to be on flow, you know, in flow. And what's your take on that, on purpose? Have you
I was reflecting as you were sharing, like, yes. But also, I've had so many conversations this week on everything we're talking about. I just did a tarot reading this morning, like on my Facebook group, about masculine and feminine and how we're taught to be masculine and we need the feminine balance. So first of all, that was resonating. And then in terms of purpose, that came up as well with clients and on that call, because it was all around, we can't tell the future. We don't know what that looks like. The only certainty we have is in ourselves. So our job, our responsibility is to know ourselves, to be grounded and stable in who we are, so that whatever comes next, whatever path you take, whatever twists and turns, the one thing you can rely on is yourself, because you know who you are, you know what you want. And that's all you need to take the next step. You don't need to know 10 steps ahead. You don't need to know 10 years ahead. It's now that matters. The magic is in the moment, and the magic's in you. Like,
preach.
Well, I'll just figure that out. Everything just flows.
Preach. Absolutely. That's it. Like, that's I'm just like, come on, we need to dance. We need some music, Nikki. That's it. Like, that's it. Like, you don't worry about the how, like the 10 steps ahead. It's the now. How are you showing up now? What are you experiencing now? Do you feel like you're in alignment? Do you feel like you're like in that truth? What does truth even look like? Start asking yourself these questions. The people that are around you, like, do you resonate with these people? Are these your people?
Yeah. When you feel like you're the problem, look around and think, is the problem who I'm surrounded with and what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Great piece of advice there. As we're on this, do you have any other quick check-ins for people that they could use in regards to checking in with themselves or realigning?
I actually like the practice of journaling. So getting things out of your head and writing things down. And it doesn't need to be a long process. It can just be like the first couple of, 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes at the end of the day. What were your experiences at the end of the day? What were your experiences during the day? What could you have done better? What are you looking forward to? And then also actually like setting an intention at the start of the week. Like on the Monday, for how you want to show up for the rest of the week. So rather than just experiencing the motion of waking up and doing the routines, actually consciously sit down and think about, write down, plan out how you want to show up. I think that's really important.
I felt like a little bit of goosebumps when you said that, because I could picture it so clearly. It's like, oh, yeah, when you're sleepwalking through life, get a routine when you wake up on Monday, or, wake up in the morning and you set that intention for the week, so you are conscious, so you are aware, so you're bringing yourself into the week and not just being on that autopilot.
Yes.
That means time is gone and nothing's changed. Like, oh,
holy shit.
love
No,
it.
the goosebumps, I'm feeling it. No, I've been there, that hamster wheel, right? Like you get in the car, and when people, I don't know, I had a conversation with someone about, like they have the same breakfast every day, they take the same route, to work, and it's like, why don't you try a different route, see what happens? Like if you go that way, it might feel a little bit uncomfortable, but that's actually how you start conditioning yourself with change. It's that the small practice. And it is something that I do talk with my clients about, is let's just do these small things. When you go to the supermarket and you're doing your grocery shopping, pick a brand that you wouldn't necessarily try. Try a product that you wouldn't necessarily pick up and see what happens.
Yeah.
With that,
I
with
love
the
that.
small
Actionable
changes.
piece of advice. Oh, sorry.
No, that's it.
No, I was just saying, like giving great advice, giving great, analogies. And then like that one is so practical, because same with my clients, it's about encouraging what I call magical momentum. It's like these incremental steps around, we're not saying, yeah, you want to open a business, do that tomorrow. It's like, well, what do you need to condition in yourself to be the kind of person that happens for? So yeah, it's about being willing to get out of your comfort zone. And maybe it starts with your groceries. Maybe it starts with like wearing a bit of a sexier outfit than you would normally do to go to the shops, or wearing, like I do like glamour magic, like, so put some makeup on, like do little things that are going to shift your energy and just get you out of the rut that you've been in. And so powerful, and it can just start so small as well, and we can build it up.
That's it, and that's where the magic lies, right? Just the little shifts, the 1% or the 2 millimeters, as Tony Robbins says, right? It's just in the little shifts, and then the little shifts, they compound. They compound over time, and you notice the difference. No,
100%. Every time you share something, I'm like, oh, and I've got some icing to put on it. When you're saying that, I was like, it's like we're expecting this giant cauldron or this massive wrist roll, and you're like, nah, you just need some fairy dust on it. Like, just a small thing. You don't need massive, you don't need big, you don't need now. It's just the little next best thing that actually realigns us. Yeah.
You know what else? As you were saying that, I was thinking, what about fun? Like when you're saying like about the fairy dust and the magic, it's that childlike fun also. As we grow into adults, like a lot of people forget about having fun. As a children, it obviously comes innately, and then at some point, the thermostat is turned low, and the fun, like what happens to all the fun? It's really important, and for me, it's a conscious decision, like to bring that fun into business and to have fun with my clients. And when we talk about values and vocational values and our core values, listening to what's important to them, and actually just like identifying, because fun for me in my personal life and in business is really important, because I know that it's like a driver. It brings the energy and makes me feel good, and my clients also have a good time.
It's all about having fun, having a good time. It's your business. Like you get to make it. Like I want my dial on fun turned up here, my dial on magic turned up there, my dial on being a little bit silly and weird this much. You get to choose. And it's the same thing whether the people listening or watching later, like it doesn't matter if you have a business. You do that for your life. Like how much fun do you want in your everyday? How much creativity makes you feel happy, healthy, aligned? Like everyone right now, just check your thermostats. Like picture that if you're a visual person. Where are they set? And are they set on your settings or someone else's? Like you know, an old boss or a parent or a, you know, a friend that you always just do what they do. Like, are these your settings or are they someone else's? Like, what a powerful little quick visual we can do daily.
I was just thinking that as you were saying that, that would be a really good meditation also. So if you like, if people were to take that time, and you could, there's like meditation tracks on YouTube. You just like search your meditation, a quick 5-10 minute meditation. And actually, when you close your eyes and visualize that as the music's playing in the background, think about the thermostat rising in the areas of your life. Like visually think about that in your mind, and over time you'll see that actually that it happens like magic.
Like magic, like
into your outer world. I mean, it's that easy, right? It's that easy. Like it starts here with that visualization process and with that creative process, and it happens on the outer.
Yeah, everything starts inwards. And I often work with my clients around like mind, body, soul connection. And when there's normally a block, I'm like, okay, cool. Let's identify, is it a block in the mind, the body, and the soul? Identify that, cool. We can find a solution, obviously. But then how is that affecting the other two areas, and how are we addressing those? Like, you can't just fix a mind problem in the mind. Like, you then need to embody it, you need to embrace it, and you need to use it to align yourself with that soul purpose or where you want to be going in life. Like, very holistic harmony. You know, we need to heal everything, not just band-aid the problem.
That's right. Because everything is connected, right? Everything, that whole mind, body, soul. I love that, Nikki. It's beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
Trademark that, Nikki.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm just going to go and write that down. I'm like, it's mine. Cool. We've talked about creativity. We've talked about magic. We've talked about expectations versus reality in business. I've loved every single thing we've talked. You can tell I'm not a teacher.
We're talking
about. What I was really curious on is, what advice would you give to someone? And let's just bring it right down to business, because we're both business women here. What advice would you give to someone with that intuitive knowing that they're meant to start their own business or go a different route, but they're hesitating? They're still kind of like one foot in the rut, one foot on the shore, the bank kind of thing.
It's okay. I think it comes back to fear, right? And how you interpret fear. Fear and excitement, it's the same feeling. But it's a matter of interpretation. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is, what have you got to lose? Like, what if we went into life just thinking that everything was an experiment? Because it is. It's an experiment. You're the creator. So like, you could be like the scientist and you're experimenting. Okay, so I'm going to go down this path, and if it doesn't work out, yeah, I might look a little bit silly, or, you know, I might have that judgment of other people, but who cares? And a lot of the time, people don't actually care. Like, we put too much value on what other people think of us, but they're too busy, you know, living their life and going down their path to actually think about like what we're doing. Just make a decision. Living in that uncomfortable one step in, one step out, it's not a good feeling. Just choose. If it's out, it's out. If it's in, it's in. But the magic is in the in, right? The magic is in giving things a go and just seeing what happens. If it doesn't work out, it's cool. If it doesn't work out the second time, it's still cool. Like, just keep going until it does work out. Eventually, the odds will be in your favor and it'll work out. It's just a matter of that momentum and not giving up.
Yeah, that magical momentum and that mindset of being curious and being playful and allowing yourself, like setting yourself up for success by going, this is an experiment. When we like set ourselves up for failure, saying, is this the right or wrong choice? We're limited, we're restricted, and even the energy around that. I don't think there's a good result there, because it's from the start scarcity mindset of win or lose. Whereas when we experiment, there's the knowledge of there's ups and downs, there's missteps, and there's adjustments. And either way, if you keep experimenting, keep going, keep shifting and changing, I mean, that's how the miracles happen. That's how the breakthroughs occur, is through continuing to go through the process.
And that's that whole theory of innovation, right? You need to move, you need to experiment and try things and see what's right for you. You know, there is this whole thing about modeling, you know, in the personal development space of modeling yourself on someone else to to get to success. That only works to a certain point, because everyone is an individual. Like, it's okay, like, to model to a certain point, but you're actually living their dream and their vision. So when you get to the end and you've got that success, you're not fulfilled. You want fulfillment as well as success, and fulfillment comes with you being true to yourself.
Yeah.
And you know when you're true to yourself, because you feel alive, you've got the energy, you're excited for the day, and yeah, that's what it means, like, to be on purpose.
Yeah, I like how you've circled it back to that conversation we had earlier around just being you and knowing who you are, what you want, and getting clear on it, because from there, every decision seems easier. You know if it aligns or if it doesn't, you know if it feels right or if it feels wrong. And there's not that question of needing to know the outcome. It's just needing to trust that you're capable.
That's
and
right.
What more do we need? It's just the knowledge that we're 100% capable of realizing any dream we have, as long as we hold that one truth close. Oh, I'm loving this conversation. I know we could talk forever and ever and ever, but we probably can't. So I would like to draw our conversation towards exactly, because I realized I skipped it. What do you do? Who do you serve? And how do you help?
I serve everyone. It's interesting because, I mean, I say it in a joking way, I serve everyone. But like 100%, I know we're meant to have a niche. I've got a niche, but I 100% believe, like, we have conversations with people for a reason, like whether it's at the petrol station, in the supermarket, you know, like just going about my day. And I know that me just staying in my truth is serving anyone that I meet. So I just want to say that. And the same for you and the same for everybody else. But essentially the people that come to me, like as we discussed earlier, is those people that have, you know, office workers, professionals, senior executives, leaders, entrepreneurs, those that want to make a shift but don't necessarily know what that looks like or how they should be feeling about that. So I help them navigate that. And I also work with people that have got the side hustle going on while they're in their 9-to-5 job. And I help them move from the side hustle into the main hustle and help them with their businesses.
Awesome. It sounds like you're in that perfect position of, like, when people are ready to level up, when they want to know, well, how do I make that next step? Like, you're like, I can help. I've got tools for that. Yeah, I love that so much. So that if that is resonating with anyone on this call or in the replay, how can they find you? And do you have anything coming up that they could jump into?
I love Instagram and Facebook. So it's I am Karolina Carrera on Instagram and Facebook. I also do have a book called Level Up, Nikki. Isn't that interesting that you said that? Yeah, my book's called Level Up. But I do have a webinar coming up on February the 8th at 8 o'clock Melbourne time, which is AEDT, and that's on moving from procrastinator to creator and what that looks like, and identifying your personality type. Because as a procrastinator, there are different types of procrastinators. So I've identified 6 different types of procrastinators, and the webinar is finding out which one you are and how to move and how to shift from being stuck in procrastination and moving to creation.
Awesome. First of all, I'll be linking all your stuff in the post about this video, so we'll organise that on the other end. Also, anyone listening, hands up who's been a procrastinator, who's going to be on that call, because when you said procrastinator to creator, I'm like, oh, yeah, sometimes, like, definitely need that one. And especially like maybe 6 months ago, a year ago, that would be my number one issue. You're procrastinating, like sitting in all this doubt for so long. You're not making anything. You're not doing anything. Not a painting, not your life. Like, oh, loving that topic. So excited.
Yeah, it's an exciting topic, especially when you realise why you're procrastinating. Like, what's the underlying, issue, fear, you know.
Mm.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, phenomenal. Well, I'll take this time also to share what I have coming up, because I know our two audiences will be interacting. So intuitive coach, and I'm really excited for my Awaken Your Magic course, which starts February 7th and goes to March 18th. So it's 6 weeks, and it's designed to help women connect to that intuitive part of themselves, and in a very safe, playful, fun way, connect to it and start to bring the magic into their daily lives. Like, what does that look like? How do you know when your intuition is speaking? Bit of a check-in to see what's happening in the current reality, and big dreaming to look at what comes next now that you have learnt tools and strategies and been given the space and the permission to listen to it and to act on it. So I'm so excited for that course. It's probably my main thing coming up. So if anyone's interested in hearing more, and also hearing more about how you can win a free spot, then just message me or respond to this. Yeah, your face was like, yeah, free spot to magic. I'm in. I want to say thank you. This has been my favorite conversation of the week, hands down, in any context. So thank you so much for joining and for being here today. I've really, really loved it.
Thank you for having me. I love talking to you always. Let's do more of this, Nikki.
Yes, I'm like, can we just do it us every week? Is that it? All right, thank you so much. Thank you for everyone who's watched.
Thanks, guys, for jumping on. Good to see everyone.
Bye.
Bye.